Most people are waiting for perfect. And I have good news and I have some bad news. Good news, perfect is not coming. Bad news is that the wait is costing you everything. I'm Max, and welcome to the Self Unlock channel, where we don't chase perfect. We honor the path, learn from the journey, and through awareness, we perfect ourselves. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the difference between the perfect mindset and the perfecting mindset. Why one keeps you stuck and the other sets you free. And the one shift you can start today that will change how you move through the rest of your life. For a long time, I was convinced that if I just had the right experience, the right revelation, the right understanding, I would arrive to the finish line of self-development. So every profound moment I had, every breakthrough, every revelation, I treated it like a coronation, like I had finally figured it out. And what I didn't realize was that underneath all of that was pride. I wasn't humbling myself to the journey. I was trying to graduate from it. And that is the perfect trap. You see, the perfect mindset is obsessed with control. It sets rigid timelines. It decides in advance what the process should look like. And it punishes you when you don't hit the mark that you set on the schedule you created for a journey you've never taken before. Think about that for a second. How can you dictate a process you have never experienced? How can you put a timeline on the growth you have never lived through? You can't. And yet, most of us do it every single day. The perfect mindset doesn't just cause procrastination, it causes self-betrayal. Every time you tell yourself you weren't good enough, fast enough, or ready enough, you are betraying the version of you that was showing up and trying. So here's the first shift. Progress is never a straight line. It never was. And there's a part of you that already know this. And the moment you stop punishing yourself for the detours and start seeing them as a part of the path, everything changes. One decision better at a time. That's it. That's the whole game. But here's what happens when you actually start living that way, and nobody prepares you for this. So when you shift from chasing perfect to perfecting yourself, your life begins to respond. And not always in ways that you expect. I didn't announce my journey. I didn't post about the new me. I didn't sit anyone down for a conversation about who I was becoming. I just started making different decisions, quietly, consistently, one at a time. And my wife felt it first, without a single word spoken. She felt the shift. And that alone told me something real was happening. Because real internal change doesn't need an announcement. It gets felt. And then something else happened naturally, like without drama, without anyone becoming a villain or being a villain. Certain relationships shifted. Certain dynamics changed. Not because anyone did anything wrong, but because when the veil of your old mindset lifts, you start to see everything from a different perspective. And some things that used to fit simply no longer do. You see, there were no hard conversations, no ill feelings, no falling outs, just a natural drop off. And from that perspective, I understood it completely. And I would still reach out from time to time and them the same. But the relationship didn't end. They just found their natural place. And here's what the perfecting mindset understands that the perfect mindset never will. You cannot control who comes with you on your journey, but you also don't need to. The right people will feel your shift and want in. The rest will honor the new space you've created. Either way, everyone makes a decision. The perfecting mindset doesn't predict. It doesn't control. It stays a student. It remains open. It knows that the mess, the detour, the unexpected, it knows that those aren't failures. It knows that those are the curriculum. And we continue to flow, one decision better at a time. But this last shift, this is the one that holds everything together, because the perfecting mindset requires something that the perfect mindset will never allow. It requires trust. Not the kind of trust that comes when everything makes sense, and not the kind that shows up when you can see the outcome. The kind that holds you steady when you can't see it, you can't feel it, and you can't make sense of it. You see, I know what rejection feels like. I know what it feels like to share your vision and be met with silence, to love people deeply and not have them understand where you're going, to feel alone in something you know is real. But I needed that because in that rejection, in that loneliness, I found something I could never found in comfort. I found an unwavering confidence in myself that nobody gave me and nobody can take away. And more than that, it forced me to stop leaning on my own understanding and trust that God is supporting me in every aspect of my life, even the parts that hurt, especially the parts that hurt. And here's what I know to be true. There are situations we go through that we never want to repeat. Seasons that were painful, confusing, and felt like they had no purpose. But months later, sometimes years later, you look back and say, that experience taught me everything. I still have those moments, and it gets easier every time. Not because life stops being hard, but because you've seen the pattern enough to trust it. You've watched your intentions, your self-work, and your faith carry you through into better situations time and time again. That is what perfecting opens you to. Not a perfect path, but a purposeful one. The perfect mindset wants you to control the journey. The perfecting mindset trusts it. So hear me out. Stop waiting for perfect conditions, perfect timing, or a perfect version of yourself to show up before you move. Start where you are. Make one decision that aligns with who you're becoming. Then make another and another. One decision better at a time. That is how a life gets built. The perfect mindset will keep you waiting. The perfecting mindset will keep you moving. And here's why I didn't tell you. The shift between the two isn't a decision you make once. It's a practice. And there is one thing that will test that practice more than anything else. More than failure, more than setbacks, more than the people who don't understand your path. Click this video. Let's talk about it. I'll see you there. Max out.